You are in the middle of a sentence. Suddenly, every atom in your body transmutes into lead. Carbon becomes lead, oxygen becomes lead, nitrogen becomes lead. The air doesn't notice, but your sudden increase in mass is immediately noticed by the floor beneath your feet. Gravity is a relentless accountant. It doesn't care about your previous weight. You now weigh over 2,000 pounds. The structural integrity of your sneakers vanishes. Foam soles compress into thin plastic films. The wooden floorboards groan under the concentrated load. Wood fibers snap. The floor gives way. This is not a graceful descent. It is a sudden, violent transition from standing to falling through the architecture of your own home. Lead is incredibly dense, specifically 11.34 grams per cubic centimeter. Since your volume remains the same, your mass skyrockets. A typical adult now weighs roughly 1,100 kilograms. This is approximately the mass of a small car. However, the surface area of your feet is still that of a human. The pressure is immense. Pressure equals force divided by area. Your feet act like industrial punches. Drywall offers no resistance. Joists shatter upon impact. The descent continues downward. You are no longer a person. You are a human-shaped kinetic projectile. Every floor you hit transforms into a cloud of splinters and dust. The physics are simple. You are too heavy for the building. There is a small problem with the brain. Neurons rely on electrical signals and chemical gradients. Lead is a metal. Metal does not think. Consciousness vanishes in a fraction of a nanosecond. The experience of falling is non-existent. You are now a very heavy rock. The transformation preserves your shape but ignores your biology. Your lead heart is a solid lump. Your lead lungs are heavy weights. Lead is soft for a metal, but it is rigid compared to flesh. As the lead body impacts the second floor, the lead doesn't break. The building breaks. The energy of the fall converts into sound and heat. A thunderous boom echoes through the neighborhood. The impact creates a crater in the living room. Dust fills the air. The lead statue is now falling through the crawl space. The soil beneath the house is the final barrier. Dirt is compressible but not enough to stop a ton of lead. The body sinks deep into the earth. The ground displaces violently. The house shifts on its foundation. A new lead-shaped hole now exists in the suburban landscape. It is very deep. Temperature behaves differently now. Human bodies are warm. Lead has a high thermal conductivity. The heat from your previous biological state vanishes almost instantly. The surrounding soil absorbs the remaining warmth. Lead is also toxic, but not in the way it was when you were alive. Now it is just a geochemical anomaly. Rainwater begins to seep into the hole. The lead reacts slowly with the environment. Oxidation creates a dull gray layer of lead oxide. This layer protects the interior from further decay. You are effectively immortal. You will remain in this exact pose for millions of years. Future geologists will find you. They will be confused by the human-shaped lead deposit in a residential layer of the strata. They will debate whether you were a ritualistic offering or a very specific industrial accident. The lead doesn't care. It just sits there, heavy, cold. Indifferent to the passage of eons, the earth slowly swallows the statue. The grass grows back over the hole. The neighborhood returns to normal. Let's consider the energy. The fall from a second story is short, but the mass is extreme. Potential energy converts to kinetic energy. Upon impact, the force is measured in kilonewtons. The soil is compressed into a dense plug. The shock wave travels through the ground. Nearby windows rattle in their frames. A neighbor's garden gnome tips over. The impact is localized but intense. If this happened in a skyscraper, the results would be catastrophic. A lead human falling from the 50th floor would behave like a tactical missile. Each floor would be punched through like wet cardboard. The final impact would create a genuine seismic event. The basement would cease to exist. The utility lines would rupture. Natural gas would leak into the ruins. The resulting fire would be fueled by the wreckage of the building. The lead statue would remain untouched by the flames. Lead melts at 327 degrees Celsius. A house fire might soften the edges of your lead toes, but it wouldn't vaporize you. You would be the only thing left standing in the smoking crater. A silent, metallic monument to a very bad day. Eventually, the city sends a crew to investigate the hole. They find a 1-ton lead man buried in the dirt. The recovery operation requires a heavy-duty industrial crane and a specialized containment team. The lead is hauled away to a hazardous waste facility. The statue is weighed, cataloged, and placed in a concrete vault. It is now government property. The physical laws of the universe have been satisfied. The mass has been relocated. The anomaly is contained. The mystery remains unsolved. The homeowner's insurance claim is denied. The policy specifically excludes acts of spontaneous transmutation. The city also issues a fine for unauthorized excavation of the soil. The total bill for the recovery operation is charged to your estate. It is a very expensive way to die. Next time, we will see what happens if you sneeze with your eyes open. Subscribe to the Whatif Club to see more terrible ideas. Stay heavy. Goodbye.